Alright, hello everyone and welcome back to my Fallout 4 mod spotlight series, where today we are having a look at the Altyn Assault Helmet mod, which is being made by user Nuchulator, and what this glorious little piece of work looks to add into the game is that oh so iconic of Russian combat helmets, the Altyn, which I have no idea if I'm pronouncing that even slightly correct, as I know nothing of Russian, but oh well, what are you gonna do for the time being? And well, what this helmet is in the real world is actually quite interesting, as it was designed for the Russian Special Forces, etc., as a close quarters combat helmet that protects the entirety of the head, including your face, with a bulletproof visor, and has actually become quite the iconic helmet for Russia, as it's been seen in loads of different movies, TV shows, and of course video games. And between that iconic status and the fact that it is Russian, I think it fits in quite well to our Fallout 4 post-apocalyptic world. And so how you do get your hands on one of these once you have it installed is pretty simple. All you need to do is go to your local friendly neighborhood chemistry station, and you'll have a new category added for the Altyn Assault Helmet, in which you will find 4 lovely new things to create, the first two being the Assault Helmet with the visor down, and another with the visor up so you can see your wonderful face, both of which will require 8 cloth, 6 glass, 1 oil, 5 rubber, 10 screws, and 15 steel. Now, if you want to look a bit more like Russian Special Forces and, you know, have a nice black balaclava under the helmet, well, this mod's got you covered, as it has 2 different masks that you can make as well, both requiring just 6 cloth and will give you a meager 2 defense. Now, the difference between the two is the solo actually counts technically as a helmet itself, and so if you wear this, you cannot wear either of these helmets, or, well, any other for that matter. If you want to wear one of these masks under a helmet, you gotta go with the under helmet version, again with just a mere 2 defense. Now, I actually did forget to mention the defense of the Altyn Assault Helmet up here, and it's pretty impressive at 160 physical defense and 45 energy defense, and of course both the helmet and the mask can be upgraded at the armor workbench to become even better, and actually quite substantially. So let us actually go over to the armor workbench now and have a look at the various modifications, and let's just grab the visor up version here. And the first category is in materials, which basically will change the color scheme for your helmet from a standard olive drab to camouflage, cold steel teal, khaki, marines, olive, special forces black, tiger stripes black, or tiger stripes red, all of which are quite nice. And a little tip for you, all of them are pretty much going to be heavily worn, as the helmet, well, has seen some combat. It's been lying around in the wasteland for a while, so all of these, instead of having perfect paint jobs, do very much have a roughed up paint scheme, which I actually quite like. It fits a little bit better with the world. Now, after materials, we have Miscellaneous, which you can add in a variety of different linings, as with most other pieces of armor, so you can adjust what other kinds of defenses you have here, which is quite nice. And then finally, oh boy, we got Ballistic Weave, all the way up to the Mark V Ballistic Weave. So between that and of course the linings, you can make a pretty darn powerful helmet. Now, as for the masks, they have just the linings, as you can see here, as well as of course the Ballistic Weave. So with a heavily modified under helmet mask plus one of the helmets, you can actually have a pretty darn well defended head. And a bit more, which I'll talk about here in a moment. But let's actually take a close look at these in the Pip-Boy, just so you can get a good image of the helmets. So here it is with the visor up, a very cool, well-worn helmet. I do love this thing. You got all the nice padding on the inside, the very heavily worn paint scheme, of course this one being the standard olive drab. And we do have, of course, a see-through visor here, which is pretty cool. And I should mention at this point that there are also 2 additional downloads you can get with this mod to change this see-through visor to either a matte color visor or a shiny visor. So if you don't want these see-through glass, you can either make it a matte glass or a shiny glass, one of the two, which is quite nice to have that option. Now, as for the other helmet with the visor down, and this one, of course, is in the marine combat, or the marine material, rather. Very nice there. You got the nice visor down protecting your face, and overall just a very, very cool helmet. I do enjoy it. Now let's I'm going to take off the under helmet mask here for a moment so you can see it in its full glory. And here we go. That is with the visor down on our character. It's kind of a big bulky helmet, so on the female body perhaps is a little bit awkward, but overall still a very cool, very useful, and heavily armored helmet there. Now, with the mask in place, we can just pop that. And there we go. It looks like we have no head as well. It is a pretty impressively black color, and with the shadows projecting from the mask, or the visor rather, yeah, it pretty much looks like we are a void of a person under there, but very cool nonetheless. I do like it. And of course, if we just do the solo mask, it pops off the helmet, and we just have that on. Though you may have noticed that when I did put on the solo mask, the under helmet stayed. So yeah, this thing can basically go under anything. So if you want a little bit extra defense, just throw one of these on with the Mark V Ballistic Weave and you're good to go. Let's look at the visor up, though. There we go. See the full face with the mask under there. Very nice indeed. And what's fun about the design of this with the visor either up or down is that it actually still works quite nicely with the different gas masks that are in the game. So here is a standard in-game gas mask. And if we pop that on, it fits with the mask under there, plus our gas mask, plus the helmet, all fitting very nicely together to make a very good character scheme, and of course, additional defense, which is wonderful. And even with the visor down, it still actually does fit under there, just barely, as you can see there. It's like maybe a millimeter between the actual visor and the gas mask, but it's good because it fits just right. There's no weird clipping or anything like that. So you can have a gas mask plus the cool iconic Russian helmet, which is pretty sweet, and I really do like this mod. It's just a fun helmet with a lot of good options, and I love the mask that you can have under it to make yourself look a bit more like Russian Special Forces. That's always good. And of course, I mean, it's like I said, with the modifications, it's a pretty well protective helmet for you to wear. And yeah, just overall, looks darn good. But that is really all there is for this mod. Not a whole lot to talk about when you have just two helmets and two different masks to go over, but that is the Altyn Assault Helmet. If you would like to check it out for yourself, and I would definitely suggest that you go and do that, you can take a look at the link in the description as per usual. But that is going to be it for today, my friends. I hope you all have enjoyed, and of course that you do come back for the next episode, when hopefully we'll be looking at yet another wonderful mod. But until that time, thank you for watching, and as always, have a good one!